afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cavletics, an inside look into the athletics department here at Bossier Parish Community College. I'm your host, Charlie Cavell, and today we're talking with BIPSI Athletic Director John Rennie about next week's NJCAA Region 14 Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. John, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking the time to visit with us.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Well, Bossier Parish Community College is hosting the Region 14 basketball tournament, which will be held March 5th through the 9th at the Gold Dome on the campus of Centenary College of Louisiana. Last year, the Region 14 tournament was in Jacksonville, Texas. And pushed out, John, what really pushed you and Bossier Parish Community College to make a bid for the 2019-2020 tournaments?
Well, we've been involved with Region 14 for a little over 10 years now, and ever since I've been a part of BIPSI Athletics, we've been in Region 14, and the region comes with such a rich tradition in athletics. My goal has always been for us to build up our status, so to speak, within the region, and I think hosting an event, one of the region's championship events, is just one of those steps in that direction of earning the respect and growing our athletic department, and just the opportunity to bring something like that to our community and give our community the exposure to the level of competition that the region has.
Well, and it isn't just for this year, it's for also this year and for 2020. So, you get this one under your belt and then see, okay, what do we need to make better for 2020?
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited because we have it for 2 years, and we'd love to have it for more than that after those 2 years are up, and we'll see what happens after this year.
Why do you think that Shreveport, Bossier, and the Gold Dome is such a good location for this tournament?
Well, first off, I think the Gold Dome is the ideal venue for our tournament. The Gold Dome seats about 2,500, and so I think seating capacity is just about right. I personally just love the Gold Dome as a playing venue. The lighting is great. It's just a great venue, and I think Shreveport Bossier as a community is an ideal place. We have a lot to offer for fans and spectators as they come in. There's going to be a ton of four-year coaches at this tournament, coming to recruit and watch players, and having an airport they can fly directly into, a good base of hotel rooms that they can find good rates at. So from the beginning, I thought our community offered a lot for the tournament. It was just an ideal fit. We've hosted the region ADs and presidents meetings quite a few times over the past few years. A lot of it's just because the presidents and ADs enjoy coming. Obviously the casinos offer something for people to do, and with the Louisiana Boardwalk, some great restaurants. It's a great place for us to host the tournament.
Well, yeah, and I mean, this isn't a knock against Jacksonville, Texas, but it's a lot easier to get in and out of and to and from Shreveport and Shreveport Bossier than it is to go to Jacksonville, Texas. You're at the crossroads of two interstate highways, multiple U.S. highways, plus, as you mentioned, the regional airport. It's so convenient for an assistant coach who's the recruiting coordinator from a four-year school to fly in, see a couple of games, spend a couple of nights in the hotel, or watch 2 or 3 days of the tournament, and get right back out and meet the team somewhere on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a case in point that justifies what you're saying. This is the second year that we've had our Women's Classic in January. And this year we drew New Mexico Junior College, Jones County Community College, and Northwest Florida, who were all top 10 teams. And because of our location on major interstates, we're able to draw from a little bit bigger region than Jacksonville might, or some of the other cities in the region. Like I said, it's not a knock against them. Shreveport Bossier is strategically located in a great location.
Well, take us through the bid process and how that process works in Region 14.
Okay. Well, probably, I guess 4 years ago at our ADs and presidents meeting, they formed a committee that developed an RFP, so to speak, for the bid process. And the way it's set up is on our men's side, it's divided into two divisions. There's a North Division and a South Division. So currently it's set up that the North Division hosts it for 2 years, the South Division hosts it for 2 years, and it goes back and forth. So last year it was hosted in Jacksonville because they're a part of the South Division. We bid on the tournament last spring at the ADs and Presidents meeting last February, and we were the only North school to bid on it, and I think part of that was just a consensus among the North schools that they would like to have it here in Shreveport-Bossier. So there's some criteria laid out, certain minimum seating in the venue, minimum number of hotel rooms, some other factors that we had no problem at all meeting those criteria. And so we worked with the Sports Commission, Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, and put together the bid. And fortunately, it was accepted by the presidents last February.
Well, and that kind of leads me into my next question about, I'm sure there were a lot of moving parts and pieces and entities before you could submit a bid. For instance, the Coach Billy Montgomery Gymnasium here on our campus only seats about 1,100, whereas the Gold Dome, as you mentioned earlier, seats about 2,500. So therein lies one of the reasons it's not here on campus. But can you tell us about whose support you had to have in order to submit a solid bid?
Yeah, well, I'll start with Coach Montgomery. Coach Montgomery was a big supporter of us seeking out the tournament. With his role at the Sports Commission and just his role in the community, he really encouraged us to do that. Obviously, Dr. Bateman, our chancellor, Ms. Recchi, our vice chancellor, I went through them and just kind of got their blessing on the whole process. Took a lot of work from all of our staff. Charlie, you put a lot of work into it yourself. Tina Barth is helping us out, just making sure everything's taken care of. And then partnering with the Sports Commission's been huge. They've been a huge help in all of it. We lean on them heavily for a large portion of the tournament. And then Centenary College has been very, very helpful in providing facility, and Marcus Manning, the athletic director over there, has just been over backwards, and he said, look, John, this is y'all's tournament. We just want to do whatever we can to make it the best it can be.
You talked about the bid process and then getting selected. When did you find out that Shreveport-Bossier, but Bipsy, it was awarded the bid as the host school, and how excited were you?
So we went to the AD and President's meeting for Region 14 last February. It was in Corsicana, Texas at Navarro College. And that was when we submitted the bid. And we had the ADs meeting on a Sunday evening. The ADs voted on it overwhelmingly in favor, which all that does is just kind of gives a recommendation to the presidents the next morning. The presidents meet at 10 o'clock on Monday morning. They overwhelmingly accepted the bid. And so from that point, we were thrilled. I mean, it was exciting for us to be the only Louisiana school in Region 14, and for the other schools in the region to say, you know what, we want to go to Shreveport-Bossier to host our basketball tournament. That's a huge feather in our cap as an athletic department at Bipsy.
Well, and I'm going to kind of combine the next couple of questions, because that one you kind of answered was about, just how big a deal this is to not only to Bossier Parish Community College, but to the community as well, and the basketball community inside the greater community. But I know you have some personal validation for being awarded the bid, not just for yourself, but as the athletic director. But talk, if you will, about the level of acceptance and respect for Bipsy by the other 14 Region 14 member schools, all of which, as you just mentioned, reside across the border in Texas.
Yeah, we've come a long way. We've been competitive. We've fielded an athletic program for quite a while, but Region 14 is, and we've discussed this on this show before, it's considered the SEC of junior college in all sports. The level of competition is second to none. You can ask any coach at a four-year school in any sport, name the top 3 conferences in junior college, and Region 14 is going to be one of those that they list. And so, it's very competitive. And so for us, being the only Louisiana school in a region, in a conference that is full of tradition, and all East Texas schools, we've had to really work to to earn that respect, to kind of improve our status, so to speak, within the region.
Not to interrupt you, but to be honest, and shoot straight, Bipsy hadn't been competitive for a while, so there wasn't a lack of respect. I mean, we talked about this not too long ago when our men's team beat Tyler, that their radio broadcasters spoke to me or I could hear him talking to his listeners saying, Coach Chris Lovell's really done a great job with this program because no longer is Bossier Parish an easy out. They've had a heck of a play. And that kind of goes into that mentality of what I'm talking about, of a level of acceptance and respect. And I think this bid and getting to host this championship event kind of validates that.
It does. It absolutely does. I mean, we've, like I said, we've been in the region for a little over 10 years now. And this is, of course, the first time that we've hosted any such championship event for the region. And we have definitely worked to gain that respect in all of our sports and as an athletic department overall within the region. And it's very exciting for me, as the athletic director of the department to earn my colleagues' respect in that regard, and the coaches in the region. I think you can ask any of the coaches in our region, again, in all the sports, and they would tell you there's a lot of good things happening at Bipsy Athletics.
Well, and real quick before we take a break, tell us about your new level of acceptance and appointment inside Region 14.
Yeah, at the most recent meetings, I was appointed to assume the role as Assistant Women's Director for the region, which will start with next school year. And again, just another, to be the only Louisiana school, I hate to keep saying that, but it's really a big deal when you're the lone school that's not a part of the state of Texas, and for the ADs and the presidents to respect my position and what we've done in athletics at Bipsy and appoint me the assistant women's director. It's a blessing, huge blessing.
We're going to take a brief time out right now, but stay tuned because following the break, we'll have more about the Region 14 basketball tournament with Bipsy Athletic Director John Rennie. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A covenant that split the skies over Berlin. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A promise was made. A solemn oath that liberated Seoul. A sacred trust that defended Quezon. A pact that dug in Da Nang. A contract that weathered Tet. A promise was made. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. A bond that patrolled door to door in Fallujah. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. A promise we all must keep. DAV fights for all veterans and their families so they get the health care, financial benefits, and support they earned. If you're a veteran who needs help or you'd like to help us keep the promise, visit DAV.org.
In 1977, in Johannesburg, South Africa, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. By the age of 9, he was already outplaying him. The odds of this gentle lad winning the Junior World Golf Championships at the age of 14, 1 in 16 million. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the Open Championship once and the US Open Championship twice, 1 in 780 million. The odds of this professional golfer having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Welcome back to Cavletics. I'm Charlie Cavell, and we're visiting with Bipsy Athletic Director John Rennie about the NJCAA Region 14 Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament, which will be held next week at Centenary's Gold Dome. So now Bipsy has been awarded the bid, John, and it's not just for 2019. It does include 2020. And is that a normal process? I mean, is that the normal, that it's a 2-year turnover?
They just started that 4 years ago,
Okay.
so or 2 years ago, I should say. So Jacksonville hosted it for 2 years, and so now it moves back to the north, which is we're in the north, and so we get it for those 2 years. Now that doesn't mean that we couldn't host it for another 2 years after that. A school in the north can host it. It's just the south schools have the opportunity first to be that host after our 2 years is up.
I'm sure our viewers are wondering, why is the Region 14 tournament, a junior college tournament, being held at Centenary College? And we spoke a little bit about it earlier, the size of the arena, and not, like we said, being held at the Coach Billy Montgomery Gymnasium. Can you speak to maybe some of the particulars in the bid process?
Yeah, well, a big parameter is it's not a requirement, but it's preferred that it not be on campus at one of the region schools. And so we felt like, our best opportunity was for us to have it at a facility that wasn't on campus here. Like you mentioned, our gym doesn't quite seat enough. I believe the seating requirement is a minimum of 1,500. And again, we just felt like the Gold Dome was an ideal venue, an ideal location with the capacity, the way the facility is set up, and I think it's really going to give us an opportunity to provide that kind of big time feel to the tournament.
Now that you've been awarded the bid, when did you and the rest of us really begin to, the Sports Commission as well, begin to prepare for this championship event?
Well, I'm trying to think now. When we started working on the bid, let's see, it would have been probably October, November of 2017. The vote was granted, the bid was given to us February, and so we start working on it right away. Preparations have been ongoing. Will continue to be ongoing. The tournament is over March 9th. We'll start preparing for 2020 on March 10th.
Can you briefly walk us through some of the areas that you have to cover that maybe some people aren't quite familiar with? It's not just teams showing up and playing basketball and, hey, we roll the ball out there and y'all go at it. No, things like tickets, T-shirts, programs, credentialing, etc. When you put on a championship event of this caliber, there is a lot of pieces into this bigger puzzle.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned a lot of it, and again, I just want to give kudos to the Sports Commission for providing a lot of assistance on all of that. But yeah, tournament T-shirts, coming up with a design for the T-shirts, tournament logo, programs, gathering all the information from the teams. When you look at, we've got 13 schools total represented that we have to gather information on, and it's 13 schools, but it's a total of 23 teams that we have to bring in information on for the program.
And let me stop you there.
Yeah.
From my side of things, not every school has a sports information, marketing, PR type person. So a lot of those things, and sometimes it was left up to you as a coach to deliver the headshot, the team photo, the active roster, et cetera, and coaches just want to coach, and
Yeah.
you can speak to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and in the past, it has fallen on us as coaches at BIPSI. And so when you look at junior college sports, the resources, especially human resources, personnel, is not what it is at what a Division I school might have. And so some of the slack's got to be taken by the coach or the assistant coach, and so we have to kind of provide, as tournament organizers, we have to provide some flexibility with those coaches and do what we can to help them in getting that information to us.
Live streaming is an area that has become huge, particularly at the junior college level. How does Region 14 handle its live streaming for the regional tournament?
Currently, the host school is responsible for the live streaming, and we will be live streaming this year's tournament. And all of that information will be available on the Region 14 website. I know we'll put some information on our BIPSI Athletics website, especially the live streaming link. So that's how it's worked in the past. Technology changes so much with video and live streaming that there may be some changes in the future, but that's how it's set up currently.
I know you won't know the seedings for the tournament until after Saturday, but can you tell us where you think the Bipsy Cavaliers and the Lady Cavaliers will be seated and what dates and times they will likely be playing?
Yeah, it's pretty much set for our teams where they will be seated. The men will finish up as the North number 6 seed, which will put them playing at 8 o'clock Tuesday night at the Gold Dome. The women will finish up as the 6th seed overall on the women's side, which will have them playing at 8 o'clock Wednesday night. So we've got Tuesday and Wednesday at 8. We need everybody, Cavalier fans, to come out and watch. If the guys win Tuesday at 8, they'll play again Thursday at 8. So just put on your calendar 8 o'clock every night this week.
Well, I know Coach Lovell and Coach Nichols would have liked to finish higher, but as tournament organizers, and you couldn't ask for a better situation, because those dates and times and where the seeds match up, they're set in stone. They're not maneuverable like, some people may be familiar with a NCAA baseball regional where the host school may not be the number 1 seed, but yet they play in the late game, so more crowd will show up. It's not that way in this tournament. So Bipsy playing in the 8 o'clock games, kind of just a lagniappe benefit for us, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a blessing. I guess the only maybe 6 o'clock instead of the 8 o'clock, but we'll take a weeknight game and would love to see a lot of people out there to support both teams.
Can you tell us about some of the players that are likely to have an impact on this tournament? Arguably Bossier Parish has one of the best, if not the best, player on the men's side, and Eric Parrish. On the women's side, Monette Bolden, who scored 38 points the other night. But I know there are a number of other players from other schools who have had sensational years and are looking to continue that.
Yeah, I'll start with the women's side. You mentioned Monette Bolden for our team. Mo's had a great year this year, averaging a little over 20 points a game, 4 assists. And you mentioned Eric Parrish, who on our men's side, Eric's had about 5 triple doubles this year, which basketball fans will know that's a hard accomplishment to make. On the women's side, Natasha Mack from Angelina, 6'4" post player. I've coached against her, and she's a very formidable opponent. From the team perspective on the women's side, Trinity Valley and Tyler Junior College, in addition to Angelina, are having great years. Tyler and Trinity Valley have a lot of tradition. Trinity Valley's won 8 national championships, which is just amazing. And then on the men's side, any of the teams in our North Division are just tough as can be. Tyson Jolly from Trinity Valley is one of the top players in the country, averaging over 20 points and 12 rebounds a game. He's a transfer from Baylor. So there's going to be a lot of really good talent, a lot of really good basketball that'll be watched.
Let's talk about particulars now on the fan side. Give us the breakdown of the price of admission for anybody that wants to come see the tournament.
General admission for adults is $7. Kids 6 and up, or kids and students 6 and up, is $4. Children 5 and under are free. You can buy tournament pass for $30, which will get you in every day. The games are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, wrapping up with the championship games on Saturday.
Okay, give us real quick. Give us for more information. Where should folks go?
Go to njcaregion14.com for more information, and then you can always check out bipsyathletics.com as well.
This championship event really kicks off on Monday, March 4th with a press conference at the Gold Dome. Then the quest for the berth in the NJCAA National Tournament begins with the men's game starting at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, March 5th. I encourage all basketball fans to come out and enjoy this great community event. There'll be some outstanding basketball played at Centenary College's Gold Dome. That's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank Coach Rennie for talking with us and taking the time out of his busy schedule to visit with us. John, good luck, and Best wishes on a successful tournament.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, folks, for watching Cavletics today. Join us again next Friday as we bring you the latest on Bossier Parish Community College Cavalier Athletics. I'm Charlie Cavell, bidding you a good sports day.